Inhaling smoke from a single burning branch can trigger cardiac arrest. The Arizona Department of Transportation planted millions of them. You've driven past them for years, and that's not even the most dangerous plant in this video. 7 plants, all growing right now across the American Southwest. Parks, school grounds, highway medians, front yards. Most were planted on purpose, and none of them need to be touched to send someone to the emergency room. At plant 5, the danger is the smell. At plant 2, the sap can reach your eyes from across the yard. And at plant 1, the question is not whether you've been near it, it's what else was decided for you without your knowledge. Let's start with the one most people mistake for something harmless in the wash. This is Datura wrightii, the plant that borrows your nervous system. It uses the same molecules your body uses to control memory, vision, and heart rate. That's why doctors cannot predict how people will react to it. And it is growing beside roads, parks, vacant lots, and hiking trails across the Southwest. It's dusk. You brush the leaf. You keep walking. The plant doesn't. Crushed leaves can cause numbness, tingling, and burning through skin contact. Not from eating it, from brushing past it. That is the proximity mechanism. The plant signals contact before the person understands what happened. The compounds are atropine, scopolamine, and hyoscyamine. Your body already uses chemical systems like these to regulate itself. Datura floods that system with an exaggerated version of its own chemistry. That is what makes it dangerous. All parts contain tropane alkaloids. Leaves, stems, flowers, seeds, roots. But the seeds are the concentrated version. Spiny pods split open and scatter flat, kidney-shaped seeds onto the desert floor. Kids pick them up. Teenagers seek them out. Emergency rooms see the results every year. An emergency physician in West Texas identified sacred datura as the single desert plant he treats most often. Not because people seek it out, because they don't recognize it until they're already involved. From the plant's perspective, none of this is about humans. It evolved these compounds to deter grazing animals, control insect access, and survive extreme desert conditions. We're just not what it was designed for. It's not hidden. It's in the wash behind the park. Plant 6 is harder to kill than datura, harder to remove than almost anything in the Southwest. And every attempt to stop it can help it spread. Solanum elaeagnifolium, silver leaf nightshade. The plant science cannot kill. Multiple states list it as a noxious weed, and every state that lists it admits the same thing. It cannot be eradicated. The part children notice first is the berry. Bright orange, glossy, edible looking, toxic. It grows where people disturb the land. Roadsides, park edges, school fields, vacant lots, highway margins across Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. A groundskeeper mows the edge of a school playing field. The mower blades cut through the root system. The plant grows back, stronger, more spread out. Mechanical removal spreads the root fragments. Herbicides require repeated applications. Disturbance does not defeat this plant. Disturbance helps it move. The plant contains solanine, the same toxic compound family found in green potatoes. It can cause diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. The ripe orange berries are the most dangerous part, and the most visually appealing. The question is not why this plant is there. The question is why every parent near a Southwest school does not know what those orange berries look like. This is the hidden system. The nightshade is not simply invading. It is responding perfectly to what humans do to land. We disturb, we mow, we fragment, and this plant treats disturbance as opportunity. Every school ground, park edge, and highway margin is, from the plant's perspective, ideal habitat. We built it for them. Plant 5 does not spread through roots. It spreads through scent. and the scent is the mechanism of harm. Sephora secundiflora, Texas mountain laurel, the one that smells like candy. The danger is not the seed first, it's the smell. The plant smells exactly like grape candy. That is why children walk toward it. If you've walked through a Tucson neighborhood in spring, you know the smell before you know the plant. Sweet, intense, carried on the wind for an entire block. A child walks home from school. The air smells like candy. She follows it. Bright red seeds sit inside split gray pods. She's never seen anything that red in nature. She picks one up. The hard seed coat offers partial protection. Cytosine releases most effectively when seeds are chewed, but individual tolerance is unpredictable, and any ingestion should be treated as a medical emergency. She doesn't know that. Neither do most of her neighbors. Texas mountain laurel is widely planted across Tucson, El Paso, Albuquerque, and San Antonio because of that fragrance. The seed contains cytosine, a toxic alkaloid that can cause salivation, nausea, convulsions, and, in sufficient quantity, respiratory failure. The smell lowers caution before the person has made any decision to touch or taste. That is the mechanism. The fragrance is advertised as a feature. The seeds are not. Nobody advertises what the seeds do. That choice was made by someone. A city planner, a nursery buyer, a street tree committee. Someone looked at the plant, chose what mattered, and decided the risk did not belong on the label. That pattern comes up again. Plant 4 uses a different delivery system. It doesn't attract people, it uses butterflies. This is Asclepias subulata, desert milkweed, the monarch's pharmaceutical factory. The plant makes hard active compounds. The caterpillar stores them. The butterfly becomes the warning label. Every milkweed patch in a Sonoran desert wash is a chemical manufacturing site. Most hikers walk through it without a second thought. A monarch caterpillar feeds on the stem. It is not just eating. It is loading itself with the plant's chemistry. The larvae absorb and store cardiac glycosides in their own tissue. That makes the caterpillars toxic to predators. The plant manufactures the compound. The larva becomes the delivery system. The butterfly's colors become the signal. When you see a monarch in a Sonoran desert wash, you are watching a pharmaceutical relationship that evolved over millions of years. All parts of the plant contain cardiac glycosides, the same class of compounds that in precise pharmaceutical doses can treat heart arrhythmias and in uncontrolled quantities can cause them. Exposure can cause vomiting, diarrhea, irregular heartbeat, and cardiac complications. The same chemistry that protects the butterfly can harm a human who ingests enough plant material. Tall, rush-like stems, cream and pale orange flowers, dry rocky washes across Arizona and northwestern Mexico. It looks ordinary because the visible plant is not the whole system. The hidden system is the relationship: plant, caterpillar, predator, warning color, memory. The desert has always had this system. You just didn't have a name for it. Plant 3 is sold in garden centers across Arizona. It looks sculptural, beautiful, and historically the sap was used to poison arrow tips. Adenium obesum. Desert rose. The beautiful cardiac threat. Historically, its sap was used to poison arrow tips and fish traps. Today, it is sold at garden centers. Same plant, same chemistry. It looks decorative, swollen sculptural base, deep pink to crimson trumpet flowers, perfect for courtyards, hotel planters, and southwest yards. A dog mounts a fallen flower. A child handles the plant and touches her face. A branch breaks. The sap bleeds out. It does not require deliberate ingestion. It requires a broken branch and a hand that has not been washed. Every part contains potent cardiac glycosides: sap, roots, bark, flowers, seeds. The mechanism is similar to oleander. Symptoms can include vomiting, diarrhea, severely irregular heart rate, and potentially fatal cardiac arrest. That is the contradiction. The same compound class is being studied for cardiac applications. The line between medicine and poison is not the plant. It is the dose, the preparation, and the control. The care tag says, full sun, well-draining soil, minimal water. It does not say what the sap does. It's a cardiac weapon sold next to the succulents. Plant 2 does not require ingestion. It does not require skin contact. There are documented cases of blindness from this plant, and the vector is air. Euphorbia tirucali, the one that blinds you from across the yard. You do not have to eat it. You do not have to touch it. Break a branch and the sap can reach your eyes through the air. That is why ophthalmologists keep seeing the same injury. It is sold as pencil cactus, milk bush, and fire stick plant. It is common in Phoenix and Tucson xeriscape landscaping because it looks architectural. Dense clusters of pencil-thin green stems with no obvious leaves. The milky white latex sap is classified by Stat Pearls as among the most irritating plant substances known to medicine. It creates alkaline burns on the cornea. Temporary and permanent blindness from sap exposure appear in the medical literature. You're trimming the plant in your front yard. A branch snaps. The sap squirts. Airborne droplets travel. Cutting, breaking, or strongly brushing the plant can release droplets that pose a risk to eyes and mucous membranes. And the danger does not end when the pruning is done. Dried sap on tools or gloves can remain biologically active. It can rehydrate hours later and cause injury the next time you use them. Not from an exotic wilderness encounter, from trimming a landscaping plant on a Tuesday afternoon. It's in the xeriscape section. It's everywhere, and it can blind you from across the yard. Plant 1 did not end up near you by accident. Someone chose it, planted it, maintains it. And the question is what that decision reveals about everything else around you. We're back where we started. That freeway median, that flowering hedge, oleander, the one your government planted. One leaf may be lethal to a 150-pound adult. Arizona planted it along highways anyway. That is the contradiction. Nerium oleander grows along hundreds of miles of Phoenix and Tucson freeways. It is standard landscaping in HOA communities, commercial properties, school campuses, and municipal parks throughout the Southwest. Every single part is toxic, without exception. Roots, stems, leaves, flowers. The sap that bleeds from a cut branch. In 2000, 2 toddlers in California died in their cribs after chewing oleander leaves from a plant in the yard. But the smoke danger is what most people never hear about. It's Saturday afternoon in a Phoenix suburb. Someone is burning yard clippings in a backyard fire pit. Oleander branches are in the pile. Adults have been sent to the emergency room after inhaling smoke from burning oleander. Not from eating the plant, not from touching it, from standing near a fire that contained it. Many Arizona cities have begun discouraging new oleander plantings in public spaces, but millions of established plants remain along active roadways, and now the plant is escaping managed plantings entirely. Saguaro National Park lists it as an invasive threat. Near Boyce Thompson Arboretum, it has begun colonizing native desert scrub. Here is the hidden system. Oleander was chosen for Arizona roadsides on a specific calculation. No reasonable adult would eat a highway shrub. The calculation did not account for smoke from roadside brush fires. It did not account for children in adjacent neighborhoods, and it did not account for the plant's escape into protected desert ecosystems. The most dangerous plant in the Sonoran Desert is not hiding in remote wilderness. It was placed there by the institutions responsible for maintaining the places you live, drive through, and trust. If that decision was made without your knowledge, what else was? 7 plants, all common, most planted, sold, or maintained on purpose. A city planner, a garden center buyer, a home builder's landscaping contractor. Someone knew enough to choose the plant, not always enough to warn you. The Sonoran Desert has always asked its residents to pay attention. The plants that demand it most are not always the ones with the longest spines. Before today, did you know what was growing along your daily commute? Type yes or no in the comments, and tell me which plant changed the way you'll look at something in your neighborhood. Because if one plant on this list is already within 100 feet of where you live, and the data says at least one of them is, the question is not whether you've been near it, it's whether you see it the same way now. There's a follow-up to this video that covers something even harder to explain. Not a plant that harms you, a plant the Sonoran Desert uses to communicate, across miles, underground, in real time, in a chemical language scientists have only partially decoded. That video is on screen now.